So our first class on this Excel is the mathematical function. So on this mathematical function, we are going to be treating the sum, the minimum, the maximum, the average, the sum product, the round function, and the round between. So if there is any other function I want to add, I will let you know. If I want to add any other function, I will let you know. So we'll start with the sum function. What is the sum function? The sum function returns the sum of the cell or range selected. That is a sum function. Returns the sum of the cell or range selected. So below you have the syntax, which is the formula. You have a sum open bracket number one, comma number two. As many numbers you want to put together. So our goal here now is to sum the students and their scores based on their subjects. So we have student one who score 95 in maths, score 83 in science, and 81 in English. We have to add up his score together to have his total score. So how do we do that? Using the sum function. Increase a little bit or increase it a little bit. So using the sum function, the first thing, each function you want to start with the equal sign. So keep that in mind. Each of the function you want to start with the equal sign. So I'm going to start with equal sign equals sum equals sum. Then the next thing is to select the range. The range. So the range starts from M5 down to O5. So the total score for student one is 259. So the next thing you need to do is to apply the formula to the rest of the students. We have two references in Excel. We have absolute reference and relative references. So by default, all cells are relative reference, which I'm still going to put you through on that, the relative and the absolute reference. So to apply the absolute relative reference to this table, what you need to do is to autofill. So look at this tiny dot here. You can double click on it. So you can see the formula has been related to all other cells. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So don't forget, there's other ways we can do this. If by using plus sign, so I call it addition. So this is a longer process. It's a long process. So addition. If you're using the addition, you have to be using the plus sign, M5 plus M5 plus. So you're still gonna arrive at the same answer. But you understand that it's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit longer. So the next thing we are going to treat is the minimum, the maximum, and the average. I'm still going to work on this table. Okay, I know we have the tables for mean, we have the table for max, we have the table for average, but I want to make use of this table to do all these four functions. Okay, so I want to make use of this table to do everything. So take this out, take the addition out, don't need that. Next, let's look at the mean. What is the mean? Mean returns the what? The lowest number in a list of what? Numbers. Returns the lowest number in a list of numbers. So let's get the mean of each of these subjects. That is the lowest number of each of the subjects. It's going to be equals mean. Select the range, then enter. You can see that Consider that. So this is the value for each of the lowest value for each of the subjects. So it means for all the students in maths, the lowest value in maths is what? 45. For all the students in science, the lowest value in science is what? 53. For all students in English, the lowest value is 55. So next, let's move to the max. Maximum means what? The highest, the highest what? The highest value, the highest value, the highest value. So how do we get the highest value? By using what? The max function. So you start with the equal sign, like I did. Start with the equal sign. Then you select the range. So the highest there for the mathematical as a subject, the highest is 99. So you so you can see that that is how to get the lowest and the highest for each of the subjects. So the next thing we are moving is for the average. Let's look at the average. Let's move on to the average function. How do you get the average? So we can get the average by dividing the total by 3, which is the number of subjects. But in Excel, like you know, Excel is an inbuilt function. It's an inbuilt function. So the average is already inbuilt there. So what you need to do, you don't need to divide by, there's no need of dividing by 3. What you need to do is to pick your average, localize the range from mathematics to English for student 1. So you get your average. Then you can autofill. You can autofill. So next, we move on. We have rank, rank function. So what is rank function? If I may ask, can you give me a point on this one? Rank function. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Huh?
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
listening to you.
So the rank function returns the position of a number in a list of numbers. So to get the position of a number in a list of numbers, we make use of what? The rank function. So get rank. So we are getting the position of each of these students. What position are they on the list? So get this, which is the number, then the reference. You have to pick everything. Then descending, ascending, depending on how you want it. So I'm going to take descending order, then click OK. So from the list, the student 1 is position 2 from the list. So what I will do here now is to lock the reference using the F4 key. If the F4 key is not applicable on your own, you use Fn and F4 together. So you can autofill and get your result. That is that. So these are their positions according to their scores, according to their average. Those are their positions. So the next thing we are going to look at, we are done with minimum, we are done with maximum, we are done with average, we are done with rank. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So next thing we are looking at now is the sum product. The sum product, this function returns the sum after multiplying numbers in an array. It can also be used to count cells based on criteria provided. So below is the syntax. You have some products, array 1, array 2, array 3. So looking at the table given to you there, we have two tables there. We have table 1 contain the student and their score, while table 2 contain their weight. So for each of these subjects has its weight. For mathematics, you have 2. For science, you have 1. For English, you have 1.3. So I'm going to show you an easy way to get this, to get the sum product. What I mean is that each of the score multiply by the weight. Each of the score multiply by the weight. So in mathematical approach of this can be equals this multiply by 2 by 2 plus multiply by 1 plus multiply by 1.3. What is the answer then? We have 378.3. 378.3 as the sum product. But this is just a normal way, the mathematical approach of it. So let's say we want to apply the Excel function. Let's say that. Let's see how it works. Equals sum product. So then you can align the range, comma, select the weight. You can see that you got the same answer using the inbuilt function and doing it manually. You can see that we arrive at the same answer. So for us to fit, we need to keep the array 2 constant. We need to make it constant by locking it to make it constant. So you can see that that is a sum product for each of the students. Each of the students. That is sum product for each of the students. I make myself clear.
Yeah.
So the next is rand. Rand. So this rand function returns random number greater than 0 and lesser than 1. So less than 1. The return number greater than 0 and less than 1. The number change on recalculation. So let's see how it goes. Equals round. So you can see 0.096229. Say the function returns random number greater than 0 and less than 1. You can see this number is greater than 0 and it's less than 1. True or false? True.
Yeah.
So you can now fulfill. Next, we have, which is the last one, we have the rand between function. The rand between function. This function returns random numbers between specified numbers. The syntax is below. Rand between open bracket bottom comma top. So we'll pick an example. Give me a number you want us to use. Give me a number.
50.
Huh?
50.
50 comma, which is the bottom, comma 60.
Plus.
So you can see the random number here return what? 54. So you can see here. Good. So it changes on each recalculation. You can see that whenever I put your cursor and click enter, it changes. Get that?
Mm.
So that is that on max function. So a short recap of what we did just now. Short recap. Can you mention what you just did now? Short recap.
Sum. Max. Happy.
Math function. The first one we did was sum, right? Sum function. Next, what do we do again?
Min.
Main function. Next,
Max.
max. Next, average. Did average.
average,
Next, some
rank,
rank.
rank,
Rank.
rank,
Next,
some product,
some products. Next,
brand,
brands. Next,
brand between,
brand between. So this is the summary of what we just did. This is summary of what we just did. So I'll pause this one, pause this video.